Hey, it's Mike from Silver Chimp, and in this video, we are going to show you how to get a home inspector. Do you need one? Should you even get one? New investors have this question all the time, and in this video, we're going to answer it. It's going to be a good one. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to Silver Chimp. It's Mike, and yes, I am actually videoing in the bathroom of my hotel room because the lighting is so good in here, and we are on hurricane evacuation for Hurricane Delta in Louisiana. And so this is the second hurricane of this year. But I started thinking about it. You know, a lot of people have been asking me about home inspecting and stuff like that. And so it's a really, really good question. So I wanted to take the opportunity to make a video about home inspecting. And so if you would like to hear more videos about real estate, or if you're thinking about getting into real estate and you're new and you're not quite sure, then hit the subscribe button and follow along. All right, well, hey, it's a great question that somebody asked me about home inspectors. Do you need a home inspector? And especially if you're looking at buying your first rental property or your first duplex. So let's talk about it. First of all, do you need a home inspection? And the answer is yes. Every time I buy a property or I'm thinking about buying a property, I always get a home inspection. Why? Because I am not a home inspector and I don't know what is in the attic, what is in the, what the condition of the electrical is, and all these things. There's a lot of stuff in a house that I don't have the time or the knowledge to look at, so I let a professional do it. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. What is a home inspector and a home inspection? So when you're looking at buying your first property, you want to get it inspected. A home inspector will go in and he will look at the house. It'll take him a couple of hours. He'll do a thorough inspection and he'll look at the ins and outs of the houses, stuff you can't see, stuff you may not even know is there, potential problems that could arise when you purchase and own a house. So the first question, I guess, would be, how do you even find a home inspector? And the easiest answer for me would be ask other investors. Who do they use? That's a great starting point. Another great place to find a home inspector that's trustworthy, reputable, that'll work with you is ask a realtor. You can ask realtors. You can call any realtor office in America and say, who's the home inspector that you suggest? And believe me, they will have a list. They'll have the guys that they trust and know. Typically in an area, there's not a whole lot of home inspectors. It's very hard to become a home inspector. And so depending on your market and where you're at, there's usually a couple of guys that you want to keep and get to know and use. So I have a home inspector. It's a guy I've used for several years, and I've gotten a great relationship with him, and he even will call me up and say, hey, look, this might be a potential house that you may want to purchase. Here's the info, or here's a lead. And when that happens, I usually give him $500 if it turns out to be something good. Okay, so you found a couple of inspectors. The next thing you want to do is you want to call them up, introduce yourself, get to know them. Then you want to kind of figure out who's the right inspector for what you're trying to do. We do what's called an investor's inspection. Now, typically a home inspector, when you're buying a house, he will do a very detailed report for you. I don't want that, and he knows that. I want him to just do a summary. So he's looking for the big things. He's trying to give me a reason not to purchase the house. I'm looking for foundational issues. I am looking for the $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 problems. I'm looking for big stuff that could potentially cost me a lot of money in the future. That's what I want him to find, and that's what I'm hiring him for. I'm not concerned about a piece of wallpaper that's torn here, or I'm not concerned about a little cosmetic issue here or there. I don't care about that. I want to know majors, stuff that I cannot see. I've worked out a deal with my inspector where I just pay him, I think it's like $250, and that's the cost. Typically he may charge a retail person maybe like $400 or $500 for an inspection, but for me it's a quick $250, and he takes a couple of hours. Now, he does a great job, and he does a thorough report, and it's sent to me and emailed to me, and it's not some quickie job he does, but he doesn't really focus on the minors. He's focusing on the majors. So you want to find an inspector that'll work with you and do kind of an investor's price where you're not spending more money than you should on an inspection. Typically what'll happen is maybe 1 out of 3 houses that I actually have inspected, I will purchase. And so there is a little bit of a cost when I'm doing my due diligence on a house. When I put a house under contract, the first person I call is my inspector, and I say, hey man, let's set up a time, because I got 14 days or 15 days to do my inspection, and I get him out there as soon as possible because I want him to let me know right away if this is a house that I am going to want to purchase. Now, some of you might be saying, well, I don't want to spend $250 or $300 or just $150, whatever. I don't want to spend that money. I mean, that's an expense that I might not get back. But you have to realize that an inspector will save you thousands and thousands of dollars in a purchase of a home. Let me explain. So every time I use an inspector, he always finds something, whether it be an air conditioner, or whether it be a roof or a flooring issue, or just something structural that I can use to negotiate even further. So when you're in your inspection period, that's when a lot of negotiation actually takes place. So when you're purchasing your home, you kind of go back and forth and you negotiate the price. A lot of times I'm not like hardcore on the initial negotiation. I save some meat on the bone for the inspector negotiations, what I call it. And so after the inspection's done, then I can go, oh, well, you know what, we're gonna probably need a new air conditioner. So that's gonna be $5,000. I'm gonna need $5,000 off on the price. Or, there's some flooring issues here. I'm gonna need another $3,000 off on the price so I can remedy that. So they will find things for you to negotiate even further. And a lot of times, you may not get the full amount of money, but you will get maybe half of it or 3/4 of it, but it's well worth the $250 you spent on your inspector. So what will the inspector inspect? An inspector's gonna go in and look at the roof. He's gonna look in the attic. He's gonna look for stuff that's wrong up there. He's gonna look for electrical issues, plumbing issues, anything that is dripping or leaking, or potential moisture in the walls, in areas like that. Things you want to be aware of. If there's a moist spot in the ceiling that you didn't notice, but he got up in the attic and he found it, that will let you know, hey, this place is gonna need a new roof. He'll even let you know how the roof looks and if it's gonna need to be changed in the next couple years. Huge stuff, because a roof can be anywhere between $5,000 to $20,000, even more. And so it's a big deal for him to get up there and check that out. He's looking at chimneys. Sometimes I buy double wide mobile homes or manufactured houses. I'm not gonna get out of that house because I don't like snakes and raccoons and EBGB spiders and stuff. But he'll get under there and he'll check it out, and he'll be like, hey, the ductwork underneath is messed up, or there's condensation leaking and stuff. He finds the stuff that you need to find before you purchase a house. So very important. So when you interview your inspector, you need to find out what he will do and what he won't do. My inspector does not do HVAC. Now, he'll inspect the HVAC, which is your air conditioner, and it's your air handler, and also your condenser outside. He'll kind of look at it, but he is not an AC guy, and he'll let you know that up front. So I typically will call my AC guy and have him try to be there at the same time and pass his eye over that HVAC. And a lot of times I will wind up putting the HVAC price in my negotiation for a new HVAC, because honestly, like 70% of the time, HVAC's got to be changed out on a house that you're looking to rent. And I'll typically change an HVAC out because it's peace of mind for me if it's going to be a rental, or it's a great selling point to a future rent owner saying, hey, the HVAC is brand new in this house. But I get the seller to pay for it up front. So that's my take on getting a home inspector. Should you get one? Definitely. Are they worth the money? 110%. I get one every time. I've got mine on speed dial. I call him as soon as I'm looking to put a house under contract. And when I get it under contract, he's the first guy I call. Treat your home inspector right. He will be your best friend through this process. And most home inspectors, after the negotiation's done and a seller comes and fixes all the things that you wanted fixed, he'll come back for free and he will re-inspect to make sure it was done right. I mean, what is that worth? That's worth a lot. It's worth peace of mind, it's worth the money, it's worth everything. So I hope this video helped you. If it did, give it a like, and I really appreciate you watching. If you want to see more videos like this, or have a cool idea for another video, or have another question, please leave it in the comment down below, and I'll make sure I'll get to it. Well, this is Mike from Houston, and in the evacuation bathroom studio. It's actually kind of nice in here. I like the lighting. It's better than the lighting I got at my bathroom. I'll see you on the next video.